Hello aspirants, welcome to ShailajaIAS, welcome to the PYQ Decoder class. Today we are continuing with the economy series class 5. Today we'll deal with agriculture and rural economy and agroeconomy based questions. This can be linked with agriculture, environmental economy, sustainable economy, inclusive economy, okay, farmers economy, all these concepts, okay, institutions, bodies linked with agriculture and economy will be seen, which are the themes where UPSC is focusing on. So let's begin. Taxation and capital assets. This comes from evolution of economy in India, evolution of Indian economy, okay, during independence and post-independence. Independence and post-independence, how Indian economy evolved. Okay, this is one of the syllabus topic where question has been coming. This is linked with agriculture. Always one question is asked here. It can be agriculture, land reforms. Okay, how cultivation has been changed, cultivation pattern. See, all these are important concepts where question might be coming from. So we'll see what is the question here. Statement 1. In India, income from the allied agriculture activities like poultry farming and wool rearing in rural areas is exempted from any tax. See, basically agriculture tax is exempted. Agri tax under cultivation. Here he has asked taxation with respect to agriculture. Agricultural tax is exempted. However, if you are doing fisheries, if you are doing horticulture, okay, poultry farming, wool rearing, all these are not exempted under tax. So statement 1 is wrong. So this will be, both statement will be eliminated. If statement 1 is wrong, you are directly getting the answer here. Okay, this is the logical where if you know one statement, you need not know statement 2 in this type of questions, because statement 1 is incorrect, directly you will be able to answer here. However, you will see the statement 2 also. It can be, who knows, again useful in the upcoming prelims paper also in 2026. In India, rural agricultural land is not considered a capital asset under the provisions of Income Tax Act 1961. See, this is a fact. Even if you don't know, you'll be able to answer here. But we know that now rural agricultural land is not considered a capital asset. It is not considered as capital asset under Income Tax Act 1961. What does that mean? If you sell a land, then should you pay capital tax? If you sell agricultural land, should you pay capital tax? Answer it in the comment section. It is not considered capital asset. Then should you pay a capital tax? For example, if you buy one property and sell it, if the money, okay, whatever money you make profit, you have to pay capital tax. If you buy shares and if you sell more than 1 year, then you have to pay capital tax. This land, if you sell agricultural land, will you have to pay capital tax? Please answer. Okay. Now you know statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2 is correct. Option D asked in 2025. So taxation and capital asset with respect to agricultural land. Now 100 million farmers. Okay, this was a current affairs question. If you know, you could have answered. Otherwise, it's difficult. Which of the following is correct description of 100 million farmers? It's a platform for accelerating the transition towards food and water systems that are net zero carbon, nature positive, that aims to increase farmer. 100 million farmer. We'll see. It's an international alliance and a network of individuals and farming organizations interested in supporting and strengthening development of organic animal husbandry. Very specific rule, need not be. It is a digital platform fully integrated with service providers and built on blockchain that lets buyers, sellers and third parties trade fertilizers quickly and securely. It's like something like ENAM, but a private one. Okay, 100 million farmers. It's a platform with a mission of encouraging farmers to form farmer-producer organization or agribusiness consortiums, thus facilitating access to global open market to sell their products. If you see very thoroughly, farmers-related and a positive sense, okay, is there between A and D. If you don't know at all, then you have to choose with 50-50. But if you know, this initiative is by World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum, where it wants to transition towards a food and water system that are not generating any carbon dioxide, net zero, and they're positive to the nature and aims to increase the farmers' money, farmers' resilience, land is fertile, okay, organic carbon is there, and carbon dioxide is not produced because of the farming, and it is nature positive. It is not affecting the ecological cycle around the crops and the land. So it's a World Economic Forum initiative. Statement 1 is the correct answer. However, if you don't know, you should be able to logically eliminate B and C, and you should be able to get answer either A or D. But if you have read it, the current affairs of the 2024, you should be able to answer this. We'll see. Next question. Land records modernization, which is always in news. Okay, which is the ministry? Please mention with respect to DILRMP program, Digital Land Records Modernization Program, which is the ministry, because always there is a wrong authority given by UPSC. So you should know the authorities and the programs linked to it always. Ministries, okay, agencies you should know. Central government provides 100% funding. Yes, under land, okay, records modernization, this scheme 100% is given by central government because it is a central sector scheme. Central sector scheme. There is central sponsored scheme and central sector schemes. Very, very important in economy, where questions are coming from central sector scheme and important central sponsored scheme. So this is 100% funded. This is with respect to center is to state. Mostly 60-40 or 70-30. Hilly areas 90-10 also. These are the important schemes you have to know with respect to central sector scheme and central sponsored scheme. Every year one question might appear in this. Cadastral maps are digitized. Yes. Central government provides 100% funding. Yes. If you know which are central sector scheme, then you can answer. If you think this fact is wrong, if you make it wrong, then blindly you are going ahead that facts are wrong. Okay, no, facts are not wrong. Unless your knowledge is there and you know which are central sector scheme, then only you should be proceeding with respect to facts. Okay, simply blindly taking that all facts are wrong will make sure that you will be eliminated in UPSC Prelims. Initiative for transliteration of records of rights from local language to any of the language recognized by the Constitution of India. See, always positive steps in the language, local language will be transcribed to the languages mentioned in the Constitution will be a positive step, and if he is giving this much specific, this will be also right. Here all the pairs 1, 2, 3 are correct. Digital India Land Records Modernization Program, Central Sector Scheme, 100% funded by central government. It includes computerization, digitization, and uses transliteration, which is the AI transliteration which is used, okay, which is in use also. AI transliterator, okay, Bhashini. Okay, Bhashini is the AI transliterator used in by Government of India. Clear? Here again with respect to agricultural land, you will never study in just traditional books, but you should be knowing not the facts but analytically concepts with respect to India and China. How many of the following statements are correct? India has more arable area than China. You need not know how much exact million hectares, but you should be knowing whether India has more arable, that is cultivable. Can I grow crops? Asked in 2023. It is with respect to economic geography. Yes. See, India, all the mountains here in the north, the Siberian winds makes the Chinese large area, okay, go desert and unviable for agriculture. So unarable these are. But India has more arable land than China, correct. It has around 150 or 160 million hectares India, which is 10-15 million hectares more than that of China. Statement 1 is correct. The proportion of irrigated area is more in India compared to China. Irrigated area is where, okay, the land has water resources for irrigation, for the crops to be grown. Is India irrigated country or rain-fed country? If you have studied basics of geography, Indian economy, Indian agriculture, you know that mainly Indian agriculture is dependent on rain, and irrigation is in India is very much not developed to the extent of China. So, proportion of irrigated area is less in India compared to China. Average productivity per hectare in Indian agriculture is higher than that of China. Is it true? No. Our productivity is less compared to China. That also is wrong. Hence, only one pair, that is option A, is right here. Only statement 1. India 156 million hectare, China around 120 million hectare. The number might change, but you should know the concept behind it. Why China, even though bigger than India, has less arable land compared to India. Clear? Next, with respect to MSP, always in news. Okay, the committee calculation, okay, Swaminathan committee, right? Calculation of MSP, always in news. Crops, okay, becomes very important. Question has come directly in 2023. Which of the following statements are correct with respect to Niger Seeds? Government of India provides MSP for Niger Seeds. Yes, it's one of the oil seed. It is cultivated as a Kharif crop. Okay, Kharif, Rabi, Zaid, 3 crops. Which is grown oil seeds normally in Kharif crops. Even if you don't know, you should know MSP crops for Kharif. Okay, Zaid, Rabi. Normally oil seeds require more water. Normally it will be grown in Kharif crop. Some tribal people, it is not specifically telling which tribal people, some, it can be any, use Niger seeds oil for cooking. Close your eyes and say yes. You need not factually check. Okay, it is telling some tribal. Even if one people from one tribal is cooking with Niger oil, then this statement will be right. So statement, all the 3 are correct. 1, 2, 3. You need to know factual knowledge also, and you need to use common sense and logical understanding. You'll get the answer. Answer is all 3. You should know MSP of all 22 crops, the committee, the way it is calculated. Okay, all this becomes very important for economy in prelims. Self-help groups, questions was there always. Okay. Now drone Didi also was in news with respect to. Okay, all these current affairs you should link with static topics and the institutions. Asked with respect to agriculture, sustainable development, inclusive governance. Okay, very, very important where 2-3 questions are coming from this area. Now we'll see the question. The self-help group program was originally initiated by SBI, State Bank of India, by providing microcredit to the financially deprived. Okay, does SBI, a commercial bank, government bank will do that, or any, okay, higher bank will do that? For example, NABARD. Okay, Mudra loan is an idea of which one? SIDBI, right? MSME bank. So here also self-help group to make, okay, to organize a group of women and give them loan will be an idea of NABARD, not a commercial bank. National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. How it will give loan? It will give loan through commercial banks, rural banks. Okay, it will not directly interact with the groups, but it will make sure it's a refinance bank. It will make sure, okay, the idea was NABARD's and the program was originally in NABARD 1992. So statement 1 is false. See, authority swap again. And it will make sure it refinances the banks, regional rural banks, cooperative banks, to make sure loan is given to the grassroots self-help groups. in self-help group, all members of a group take responsibility for a loan that an individual member takes. Yes, there is a mutual guarantee between the members. Banks traditionally will not give loan without security, right? But if they organize a self-help group and if they are able to do some creative, economically positive task, then bank also will be able to give loan with less restrictions, where members will take responsibility, mutual guarantee is there. Regional rural banks and scheduled commercial banks support self-help groups. Okay, NABARD refinances these banks and RRBs, they provide loans to self-help groups. Okay, some incentives of interest might be there. So statement 2 is right, 3 is right. First statement, however, is wrong. So answer will be only 2, option B. Clear? Next, my friends, with respect to palm oil, it's always in news, oil crisis, right? The crude oil crisis also is in news, and the oil which we use for the food also is in news. Always we are oil deficient, okay, coal deficient, steel deficient. India is a growing economy, you have to understand, and all this, okay, materials, raw materials, building blocks, consuming materials is always imported. Fertilizers, okay. Palm oil characteristics. Which of the following statements given above are correct? Palm oil tree is native to Southeast Asia. So you have studied history, cross-linking, many of them, okay. Pineapple, tomato, all these were not native to India or Southeast Asia. They came from, okay, foreign people and they were grown here, okay, they were adopted. Is palm oil tree native to Southeast Asia? I have not read. So if I have no knowledge, I'll keep it, okay, and I'll go with a logical assumption that it might be coming from the West and it might be, okay, grown and not a native one. Okay, it is adopted one and not a native one. Yes, degree of assumption is there, and that will prove right in UPSC always. So the palm oil is a native of Southeast Asia? No. Okay, similar type of questions with respect to tamarind had come, with respect to drumstick had come in the agriculture question or environmental question. The palm oil is a raw material for some industries. Okay, lipstick, we need not say which is that. Obviously, it will be raw material for lipstick, perfumes. Okay, emulsifier it will be used. It can be used to produce biodiesel. Yes, palm oil can be used. So 2 pairs are correct, 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Yes, you should use some logical sense. You should understand the concept of, okay, historical, how migration happened with respect to the crops, which are the native crops, which can be coming from other countries. For example, oil palm is a West Asia, native to West Asia. One question was that tamarind also is native to India or South Asia. No, that was also wrong. Where UPSC is normally keeping the track. Now, with respect to crop water efficiency. Among the following, which one is the least water efficient crop? Efficiency is defined as in how many less units you will be able to get more productivity. Unit of output per unit of irrigation water used. With 1 unit of water used, how many unit of, okay, crops or grams of crops you can produce? Which is least productive here? Sugarcane, millet, sunflower, red gram? Answer is sugarcane. Similar question was asked with respect to rice. Rice needs more water, very water guzzling crop. Okay, rice, if it was the option, rice would have been the answer, which is very, okay, water efficient, least water efficient. Here, sugar drinks more water, so sugar is the least water efficient crop. Answer is sugarcane. Clear? So you might see sugarcane grown only in the areas where if water is not there, the fight happens. In the Kaveri basin, okay, where Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, farmers depend on the Kaveri river. If that Kaveri water is not there, they cannot grow sugarcane. Climate smart agri. Okay, this was a current affairs question with respect to climate change linked to economy as well as environment. If you know, if you have studied, you could have answered in 2021. So you can skip, or we'll see these statements and question might come in 2026 based on this institutions and the what projects they have come. Climate smart village approach in India is a part of project led by climate change, agriculture and food security, CCAFS, and international research program. Might be. The project of CCAFS is carried out under Consultative Group on International Agriculture Research, CCIR, HQ at France. Can be, only if you have studied will know. The International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics, ICRISAT. Okay, normally India will have semi-arid tropic, where it will come semi-arid. India is a semi-arid and it will be under tropical latitudes. In India is one of the CGIR's research center. Yes, it can be one of the, it is in, its HQ is in Hyderabad. Okay, the organization linked to climate, linked to economy, linked to sustainable agriculture. So here all the three statements are correct. This type of questions need already learning. You should have referred in current affairs, you should have studied, then only you will be able to answer. If you go blindly that, okay, statements can be wrong, okay, organization can be wrong, then you will end up making a mistake. Don't go with blind tricks techniques. Trust first your knowledge, trust the language, trust the traps, then see logically it is making sense or not. Then only you will be able to arrive at the answers in most of the questions. So, next, public investment with respect to agriculture. Question has been asked in 2020. Which of the following can be considered investment, public investment in agriculture? Okay, people's money, government investing is also public investment. Fixing MSP, minimum support price, is it an investment? It is a regular yearly consumption. No. Okay, this fixing MSP for agriculture produce of all crops. No. Computerization of primary agriculture cooperative society. Yes, computerization. Fixed capital we saw in the previous class. Okay, it can be. Then, if one is wrong, if you see the option, you could eliminate in 2020. However, now elimination is not there. If one is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, only 2, 3, 6. We'll see the options, however. Social capital development, yes, investment. Free electricity, no, it's a freebie as well. Agri loan waiver, again freebie. By the banking system, no, it's not a public investment. Government cold storage, yes, 2, 3, 6 is the right answers, or 3 pair out of the 6 statements given. Answer is option C. Next, Kisan credit card, which is in news. Okay, ENAM, all this becomes very important. Any new initiative with respect to electronic, e-market, digitization, loan with respect to agriculture, all these things become very important. Short-term credit, okay, he's asking short-term credit under Kisan credit card is given for which purposes? Farm asset maintenance, purchase of tractors, harvesters, household consumption, post-harvest expenses, house and cold storage. Which are the long-term components, long-term loan here? Purchase of tractors, harvesters, all these are capital machines require long-term loans and big loans. Statement 2 is wrong. Household consumption can be, post-harvest expenses can be. Again, houses and cold storage building requires long-term capital. Here, 1, 3, 4 is right. 3 pairs are right. Answer will be option B, 1, 3 and 4. Understood? Understand basic terminologies. Okay, see the question, use your logic, common sense, you'll be able to get answer in some of the questions asked by UPSC. So next, I think, yeah. So this is the last question. We'll see, asked in 2020. Economic trends, see agricultural evolution during independence, post-independence, during 1999, 1991 economic reforms, LPG reforms, post trends he has asked. Which of the following statements are correct? Post 1991. Worker productivity increased in urban areas while it decreased in rural areas. UPSC will always keep that trap, but while using 2 statement connectors, it will say it was positive, but this was negative. Same thing. Worker productivity increased in urban areas while it decreased in rural areas. See, LPG ensured new technology, okay, new way of practicing, new work came, okay. Then, therefore, productivity increased in urban areas as well as rural areas. Pace might not be the same, but productivity increased both. Always UPSC keeps this trap where positive thing happened one, but negative thing happened in the other. It will keep, even though the effect of 1991 reforms, work productivity is same on both urban areas and rural areas. Okay, the speed of productivity might change, but worker productivity increased in both urban areas, rural areas. Understand the theme, understand how UPSC is keeping track, and understand the language. The percentage share of rural areas in the workforce steadily increased. The percentage workforce in the rural area steadily increased. What happened after 1991 reforms? Industrialization, urbanization, workforce started moving from rural areas to urban areas. The percentage workforce in the rural areas, did it increase or reduce? It steadily or steadily or exponentially, however, it reduced, but it never increased. Statement 2 is wrong. In rural areas, the growth in non-farm economy increased, obviously with respect to small MSMEs, okay, non-farm, other allied services came. So, growth in the job of non-farm economy increased. Growth rate in rural employment decreased. Okay, rural employment increased, however, the growth rate decreased. This is a very tricky one, but if you have seen the data of budget and economic survey, you'll be able to answer. Growth is there, but growth rate in rural employment decreased. If it is 100 to 110 employed, if it is 110 to 120 also, growth will be same, but growth rate will be reduced when the number is same, but the number as a whole, for example, 100 people are there, 10 added, 110, 120, this is 10% growth. This will be less than 10% growth because it is 120 minus 110 by 10 by 110 here. This is 10 by 100, which is 10%. This is 10 by 110 into 100, okay. It is more than 10%. So here growth rate reduced. Growth is increasing, however, growth rate is reduced. Here also questions on these base concepts have been asked in economy. Here statement 3, statement 4 is correct. 2 pairs are correct. However, in 2020 there were no pair questions. So using options you can eliminate. If you know 1 and 2 are wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, you will end up with these 2 statements. So 2 pairs or 3 and 4. Option B is the correct answer. I hope this session has been helpful and you are able to understand the question language, read, revise, go through the options, okay? Make note of how questions have been asked, revise well, themes which are important with respect to agriculture, environment, economy. Make sure the current affairs with respect to these static topics are also revised very well and watched upon. So we'll see in the next class. Take care. Thank you.